Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Laugh and Learn with Flame Monroe and who? And whom?
I am here.
There is my very handsome co-host, Mr. Nick Smith. Y'all say hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to Nick.
It is so good to be here with you right now. And I have to tell you, this is not the way we wanted to do it, but Governor Newsom had other plans, right, Flame?
No, it's people's fault. I'm not going to blame my governor. It's y'all for not wearing no damn mask. I'm blaming y'all because y'all should have been hard-headed and put y'all mask on. Then my co-host could be here in studio with me.
Can I just say, for those who may have taken a sneak peek and didn't get a chance to see it as you walked into the room here, you look really good in that skirt. That looks good with that little flower and all that. You gave us a little sneak peek a few seconds ago.
Did you think that looked very feminine? Do I look like a reporter?
You look like a correspondent. Almost. We'll see what April has to say.
Speaking of correspondents, you know, we do have a very special White House correspondent that's going to be joining us momentarily here on Laugh and Learn. And I'm very excited about it. How was your week? I'm very bummed that you're not here with me because people are going to get used to seeing us together. But I do have not a replacement, but a fill-in for you.
Yes, you do.
Look at my baby right there. That's my baby, Lauren Hogan, y'all.
Hi.
Can y'all see
The
Lauren?
amazing Lauren Hogan. For those who may
Hi.
not know, Lauren is directly responsible for really helping to keep the ship afloat because there are a lot of things that Flame has to do. And that woman right there is like, Flame, calm down. I got this. You just be Flame. I can take care of the rest of this.
You were really right about that. Yes, indeed.
So
I
let
get
me
it.
explain
Lauren,
to
welcome
you all.
to the family.
Let me explain to you all who Lauren Hogan is. Lauren Hogan is now my new manager, and I met Lauren Hogan last year during the AHF campaign. You remember I was doing that burlesque campaign last year, you guys, and so Lauren was the one who hired me for that, and we just. Let me tell you how.
Flame, tell people what AHF is.
AHF is AIDS Healthcare Foundation. They hired me last year to do their burlesque campaign. And you can speak and just step in, Lauren, because we hear you. But Lauren was on the road with us the entire time we were on the road doing the campaign. Lauren is 25 years old now. She was 24 then. I thought Lauren was about 40. Not because she looks 40, but because her professionalism was so on point. She was so bomb, and she took such great care of me on the road. And when I say taking great care of me, I mean my bags were taken care of. I was first class all the way. She would leave the credit card at the front office, whatever hotel we checked in, and say whatever she wants in her room. Did you catch that? Whatever she wants. Let me go back. Whatever she wants. Mind you, I'm walking in there looking like James Brown with a hat on, but whatever she wants. Oh, I fell in love with Lauren Hogan. She will never get away from me, ever. And she's here today because we're going to talk about some things that's going on with HL, but we're going to get to that. I want to just tell you, I know what your week was like because you're not here with me, but I want to tell y'all, I got a rogue rat in my house, not in my house, in my garage. Where's my thingy at? The rat is smart. The
A
rat
literal
must
rat.
be-
Flame, you're talking
real
about an
rat.
actual
I caught
rat.
one. I caught one, but you know where there's one, there's two. Kind of like roaches. Or Republicans, you know. So I caught one rat, but I had left my box of edibles down in the garage. Look what the rat did to the edibles. The rat ate the jelly off the rat trap without popping it. Not only is this rat high, but this rat is brilliant. Smart. It must be a black woman. Because black women have taken over 2020. Black women are the power, the strength, and the backbone. But there is a rat walking around in Long Beach that's like Snoop Dogg, sipping on gin and juice, high as hell. Bent on some laid back with my man on my money. I'm trying to catch this rat, baby.
You thought you were hiding the edibles from the rat, and the rat was a little bit smarter.
Well, I didn't hide them. That is my hangout spot. That's my he-she-we cave. He-she-we. If you're not familiar with what he-she-we is, let me break down the definition of he-she-we. He cash a check, she make the money, we spend the same bitch right here. He-she-we. He-she, that's my very own pronoun.
Flame, you're talking about pronouns. I do want to, before we jump into the show, take a chance, this opportunity to remind people that Friday was actually Trans Remembrance Day, and that was especially important this year because the idea behind it is to recognize members of the trans community who have died to violence. Correct?
That's very correct. And we just lost a sister last week. Due to her husband stabbing her. It's all over social media. Her name was Uni Carey. May she rest in peace. And then I just saw on this morning another young lady was killed. I don't know what is going on with all of that, but I'm going to ask my sisters to remember that self-preservation is the first law of nature. Now, you take it how you want to take it, but I'm telling you right now, if it comes down to a choice of me and you, I will always choose me. Plus, I watch plenty of Law & Order SVU. I know how to get away with some shit. Oh, I can get away with some shit. Oh, baby, trust me, I'm going to have it with me, and I'm put them down, and then when the police come, I'm going to say, well, what happened? I'm going to say, well, officer, I don't know what happened, but that was his weapon. He dropped it. I picked up. It went off 13 times. If you don't believe me, ask him. Oh, I'm sorry. You can't ask him. Him dead.
But Trans Day of Remembrance is November 20th. And for people who want more information, they can go to hrc.org because they have posted links to different information for those who may want to learn more.
To my trans brothers and sisters out there, protect yourselves. In the words of Malcolm X, by any means necessary.
Flame, you kind of hinted at it because you're wearing the hair and you're looking good. You're wearing the black, looking a bit conservative.
Do I look conservative?
Well, you have to remember, I just got through doing a interview with you on Breakfast Club where you didn't necessarily look like the reporter.
Well, that will air on Friday, by the way, right? The day after Thanksgiving. And I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all think I set the internet on fire that first time,
I think the hashtag will be Saggy Maggie. That's all I'm going to say.
The
Saggy
hashtag
Maggie.
will definitely be Saggy Maggie. And I'm telling you something right now. I was watching the news this morning. I was trying to watch The View, but I was putting my makeup on. And I was looking at the state of the world. And, I go back to my whole Wizard of Oz effect because I said that in order for us to beat this coronavirus and to beat the system, the Trumpism, that we needed to have the whole heart, mind, and a brain, because the story of Wizard of Oz is we were trying to get back, Dorothy was trying to get back home. She encountered 3 people that needed a heart, a mind, and a brain. And those are the 3 qualities I think that we need to become great Americans again, to be in a place of at least complicity, because the world is so divided right now. But we're going to fix it, because Laugh and Learn, we're going to bring you in, we're going to make you laugh, we're going to make you think, and you're going to look at the pretty bitch that's hosting.
And we were talking about that too. I left a message earlier today letting people know to join us today at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard, 4 p.m. Eastern, because we would have special White House correspondent as a guest, April Ryan, who is the author of Under Fire. Was a bestseller.
Just a couple of books out.
Flame, how many messages did you get from people wanting you to ask different questions to Ms. Ryan?
Miss Ryan inboxed me and told me that she knows exactly my plight that I told her about last week, because she has a 13-year-old daughter and an 18-year-old daughter. So we twins in that aspect. And baby, but the difference is with a woman raising daughters, to me, I think it's better than a man raising them, because I'm a pushover. I'm a monster to everybody, but I'm a pushover to my daughters. And I definitely understand why little girls turn into pimps when they get older, because it starts at home with their dads. They pimp their dad out, then they pimp out their husbands and boyfriends. I'm just saying, y'all always want to give the man the bad credit. This equal opportunity. I'm on the man's side and on the woman's side, because I have been the man and the woman in the same night sometimes, depending on who turn it was, what day of the week, and how much money. I'm just letting y'all know where we at. I'm just letting you know where we at.
That sounds a little creative, like Frankenstein, like you can be a real monster.
Baby, Frankenstein. Understand that. Let me break down the philosophy of Frankenstein to you all, because everybody thinks that Frankenstein was the monster. Frankenstein was never the monster. Frankenstein created the monster and did not want to face his demons, kind of like what we do in real life with everything, with your relationships, with your parents, with your children. We create these monsters and then we don't want to face them. We have and I'm going to use this as a synopsis, and some girls going to get mad. I don't give a fuck. We have a transgender senator, our very first one. Her name is Sarah McBride out of Delaware. We love to holler from the trans community that people don't like us. They don't accept us for who we are. But statistically, trans women don't vote regularly. So this woman has been put in office as a state senator. And if we didn't vote for her, who did? Because she won. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds like wow, but it's not a wow. It is real. And we have to stop creating monsters and then not want to face these demons. We create our own demons and then don't want to face them. I'm telling you, I know a demon. I got 2 of them. Both are my baby mamas. They both named Tasha. Baby, I created 2 demons. I'm running every day. Good God, I'm running.
So what you're saying is that, here is a member of the trans community who clearly was able to win office by garnering the vote of constituents who did not necessarily look like her.
Exactly. And Delaware must be the hot spot, because we got the new president from Delaware and we got a trans woman, and she's cute. So most of the times they will hire the ones that look like Herbert with a wig on. She's actually lovely.
You know,
Sarah
you and
McBride.
you and I kind of glazed over it earlier because we talk all the time regularly, and people know that. And this is just an hour where we kind of open it up to other people. But you and I were just talking about how there have been a lot of reports about the progress being made with vaccinations and vaccines, and how we could be just literally weeks away from maybe as many as 3 different vaccines that could hit the marketplace.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm more than 3 weeks away. I'm miles and millions of years away. I am not taking it. I don't trust it. I don't trust the people who created it. I don't like any of it. I'm not doing it. My kids don't even take a flu shot. My children are 17, 17, and 13. I didn't say 17 twice because I made a mistake. I got 2 17-year-olds, both 7 months apart, 2 different baby mamas. Oh, please don't let these titties fool you. Anywho,
You know that's called hood twins. You know that,
is that
right?
what it's called?
Uh-huh,
it's
hood
actually
twins.
called.
Yeah.
It's actually called. My pullout game ain't what it used to be. Let me just be real about the situation.
But the
But
vaccine
my
is
children
real.
have never had a flu shot, and they've
Right.
also never had the flu. I don't trust. It's so many things that I don't trust, and it's not that I don't trust all government, but for this last year, it's been so. The last couple of years, it's been so shaky. I don't want to deal with it.
Well, Flame, I do want to plug in that there has been some controversy around that because there's been a focus on HBCUs specifically. More than 500,000 rapid coronavirus tests have been distributed to HBCUs. And a lot of people have stepped up to say that this is a great idea because, unfortunately, African Americans are 5 times more likely to be hospitalized from coronavirus. And a recent administration analysis of HBCUs also found that schools to have predominantly minority faculty with other health variables, making them a higher risk demographic, meaning that a lot of the faculty members look more like Miss Valerie and Miss Rosetta. So we have to also keep them in mind who may not be as young and able to recover because they may have comorbidities.
We're understanding this to all my students at the HBCUs because Lauren Hogan is also an HBCU graduate from Spelman. Don't do it. I know money is tight. Don't do it. All I can think about, look up the Tuskegee Airmen report. Look up that. Let me let y'all talk to Lauren because she went to HBCU. And I know money is tight when you're in college, but I'm telling you, don't get this 1,700 and can't enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I mean, in a lot of things, like, I don't get a flu shot either. The last flu shot I got, I was 12 and ended up with stomach virus, and I was, like, bedridden for 2 weeks. Haven't gotten a flu shot since. I'm fine. So same thing goes for me with the vaccine. Let, however many millions of people take it, let's see what happens. I don't feel safe to take it. I don't feel confident in what's happened or what's transpired to make me feel like, oh, yeah, this is something that'll be good for me. I don't feel that way. And I agree. I mean, I hear all that you're saying, Nick, in terms of why or the reasoning behind, they're trying to take the vaccine to, to HBCUs. But initially when coronavirus came out, there was 2 French doctors that came out and said, why don't we just go to Africa and test people and see what happens? They got ridiculed for it and everything else, but it's very unsettling for me that we're taking it to the black community to test out as guinea pigs.
Say that one more time, because black people ain't never first for shit. Let me go back. We ain't never first for jack, but now we first, because they keep saying statistically black and brown children are dying faster. That's the overplay for the underplay, because they want us to take the shot first. Give it to your mama, because I ain't taking it. Nicholas, I love you.
To be clear, what we're actually saying is do your research. We're not necessarily giving medical advice. We're just
I'm not telling you what to do.
These are our opinions.
Right.
Yes. This
my strong opinion and how I feel.
And y'all know how I feel about Fauci anyway. If you don't know, go back and watch last week's Laugh and Learn. Because every time I see that nigga smiling, it's a setup. Nicholas, I love you. I'm going to sit you up. I got somebody on here. I want to talk to this lady. She looks so pretty. She sent me the most beautiful pictures. And we're going to bring her on because I'll see you. It's
time to do it. Let's do it.
Bye, my love. Remove Nick Smith. Y'all know I got my real glasses on so I can see. Where you at, Miss Ryan? Can I call her Miss April, y'all? Is that appropriate? Is that appropriate, Lauren?
I think that's appropriate.
I have to ask Lauren because she's my manager. And Miss Lauren be grabbing my hand when I go too far because I will go too far.
I'll pinch you.
Ooh, where you going to pinch me? It ain't no fun if you don't pinch me where I want to be pinched. So I'm so excited to have this lady join us. I have been watching her because I didn't even get into politics until Bill Clinton. I didn't vote. I didn't give a damn about no.
Hello.
Oh my God, gorgeous! I love that hair, April. You look beautiful.
Do you like it?
I do.
Let me
Good afternoon. Good morning. Where are you in Baltimore?
I'm outside of Baltimore. I'm in my dark office. I don't know why I changed the light bulb to a blue light bulb and I didn't turn it on. Trying to make sure we're COVID, ready
Well,
in
just don't
case.
shoot yourself up with no Lysol. I know somebody said it, but I don't think you listen to him
Lysol or
nowhere.
bleach? No, no Lysol or bleach.
Can I just start off by saying thank you so much? I reached out to April and asked April would she come and join me on Laugh and Learn, and immediately she was like, "Oh my God, I love you." I was like, "You know who I am."
Yes.
I was so enamored that you knew who I was. I called Lauren. I said, "Girl, she knew who I was."
I know who you are. I saw the Tiffany Haddish special. We talked Tiffany Haddish and I talked about you at Tyler Perry's studio opening, and I'm just enamored and I'm a fan. That's all I'm
Well,
gonna say.
I'll take that, and you know what it is. I just because I've seen you in the White House Correspondence for so many years, and this last one just I'm telling you something. If I could come, there's a man up under these titties. I just want you to know that. And if I could have got up in there one time, I'm telling you, I would have wreaked havoc up in there because of the
I know
disrespect.
you
But
would.
we ain't gonna even get to that right now. I want to start off with fun. So welcome to this show, Miss April. Can I call you Miss April?
Call me April.
No, no, no. I want to call you Miss April. I like Miss April. You know, Miss April
Okay.
sounds respect. Let me tell you something. You earned that. If you was just a regular lady, I'd be like, girl, if you don't knock it off. But you're not. You Miss April Ryan, baby. 3
Thanks.
books. We searched high and low to get. I ordered on Amazon. Amazon is the day left. Just Bezos. I want my money back. Under Fire, 2018. It's 2016. You had At Mama's Knee, and in 2015 you had Presidency in Black and White. You are author, a wife, a mother. She got 2
Not a wife
teenagers.
anymore. Not a wife
Oh,
anymore.
I didn't know you were not married anymore. Girl,
Oh
I'm telling you
no,
something.
no.
I ain't never been married, and I'm never going to get married. Because if a man asks me for something I don't want to do, I'm going to punch him in the face. And I'm just big enough a girl to do it. Miss April, you know what the first question I want to ask you, because I've always been interested to know this. And my guess is probably different from what it is. I want to know, well, who was the most fun president did you work, because you worked up under Clinton, you worked up under Bush, and you worked up under Obama, and you worked up under this last one. But out of the first 3, who was the most fun off camera, personally, to you?
So here's the deal. Each president is different. And it's like children. You can't say which one is best. I think each one of them did the best that they knew how to do when they were in office. But at the end of the day, you would be surprised when I tell you George W. Bush was just as gregarious as Bill Clinton. And this is, behind the scenes. George W. Bush and I would talk about issues of race all the time. He recognized the subtle and overt racism that Barack Obama was going through when he was running against John McCain. I'm telling you the stories that I have and the conversations I had when we weren't on camera. Barack Obama, because of history and because he looks like me, I don't know. He has this dry sense of humor. He'll say it, and it's like you're deadpan, and then you're on the floor just rolling, And he's got this new book called Promised Land, but I think I'm a little biased towards him because he was the first, and we never thought we would ever see the first. But he's funny. He's got a bop. Plays basketball. He reminds me of my cousin, my brother.
Yeah.
Somebody, and he was, and believe it or not, he looked out for me in his own way. And I appreciate that. And I got some news too with that. You're the first one I'm telling.
Oh,
Look out for
I ain't going to tell nobody. Tell me, girl. I ain't going to tell nobody.
You're actually the first one I'm telling publicly. Monday, look on my IG Live because it's going to be a promised land. That's all I'm going to say.
Ooh. Oh my God, I'm excited. That is fantastic.
I'm excited too.
That is a fantastic miss. See, I would have thought you would have said Bill Clinton because Bill Clinton is most like me. Bill Clinton played the sax. He smoked a blunt. He did some things in the Oval Office that I've done before. All of that. Just the similarities.
But let me say, but it's hard. It's like I said, it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick which one because they were all so different. Bill Clinton, and here's something, in my first book, we talk about this. We had a soul food dinner with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, he didn't play the sax and he didn't smoke a blunt at the dinner. But what he did, he ate chitlins and collard green and garlic fried chicken on one fork.
Oh,
on the same floor.
Bill Clinton
It's,
was gangster to me. I'm telling you something right now. I was never angry with Bill about what the deed that he did. I've done that deed many times and been on both
you know
ends.
what he did now. What he did was basically something I think that Hillary had to deal with. That was between those two, mostly than anything. And you know, it was. I don't even want to get into that. I don't want to relitigate that because we're going to relitigate that forever. But as people, as they are people, and that's something we have to remember. They are people. This one, I there's no saving grace for this one to me. But I saw the humanity in the last three, and I don't see that with him.
Well, definitely
And
not.
it's something as small as having a pet. The last three had pets. This one can't even bring himself to love anything else but himself. And that's all I'm going to say.
Well, we are the collateral damage as Americans behind that, so I understand that. I want to know something, April, Miss April. I need to know the truth from you about this. How in the hell did you keep your professional composure in some of those? Let me tell you something. I am a black man and woman up under all that. I would have exploded, but I understand. You have the patience of Job. Let me say that, because there was one time I think he called you out about the Black Caucus. I'm like, and you looked at him like, why are you calling on me? But you were so patient and your composure and temperature stayed the same. Please tell me where you learned that from.
You know, my mother and father are gone to glory, and both of them were agrarians. My mother came from a farming family in North Carolina. My father came from a farming family in Maryland. They never imagined that their daughter would be at the White House. They never imagined that I, a descendant of the last known slave that I know of in my family on my mama's side, 5 generations removed from a slave called Joseph Dollar Brown, sold on the auction block in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And if I get up there doing all this and doing all that, I negate everything that they worked for. Harriet Tubman worked for, Rosa Parks worked for, John Lewis, Barrett Rustin, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, everybody, Marcus Garvey, everyone. I would negate that. I have to stand. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the issues that our community, all of the issues that our community still needs answers for. So at the end of the day, I don't know. My mother always, my mother always taught me humility. And my father used to, when I first went to the White House, God rest his soul, he said, Lord, he prayed for me before we had this family prayer. He said, Lord, let her keep her home training and it's stuff.
I'm glad you brought that up about your mom instilling something on you, because this lady here, this Lauren Hogan, when we were on the road last year for HF doing a campaign, I thought she was much older than she is, Miss Ryan, because she's so professional and she's so spot on with what she does and so diligent about it. And I love that you are an educated woman. This is a young, powerful, educated woman. I told her I was interviewing with you. She said, "Oh, Flame, please let me come, because what you have said, those words about your mom, her mother, I know her mother. Her mother is a monster. And when I say that, I mean that she has instilled in her daughter such a powerful professionalism and getting the job done and not making excuses because you're a woman, and at least being a woman of color. She just made it happen. So I wanted to bring Lauren because Lauren wants to talk to you. Talk to her, Lauren. Talk to Miss April.
Come on, Lauren, talk to me. We got Flame over there, Flame Monroe Flame. But I love whatever the Flame and the Monroe is. I love them. I tell you, funny is all get out. Yes, Lauren.
Well, first and foremost, like I said, I'm a huge fan. There's only a couple of reporters on Twitter that I follow, and you were one of them.
Oh,
so
thank you.
it's a pleasure to be here to talk with you. I more so wanted to ask you, did you ever imagine that you would be at the forefront, as a White House correspondent, having to defend, one, your credibility, and also, two, what you're bringing to the media?
You know what? That's such a powerful question. Thank you for asking that. Okay, I'm a journalist, a trained journalist from Morgan State University and HBCU. I'm a product of Baltimore, Maryland. Not many people out of Baltimore really step out and the community not gravitate towards us and say, we've done it. There's a thing of pride. There's a thing of community here. And also in Baltimore, the first thing that they say is, you have the word failure built into your existence, but you have to overcome all of that. And with that said, then you have someone challenging you about your who you are, about your journalistic integrity, about just anything about your being. That knocks at you. And sometimes you go home and say, wait a minute, what are they saying? And you have to really come back to yourself. And I believe if you are standing on the pillars that you know for sure cannot be knocked, you will be okay. But it's a lot to have a president of the United States, particularly this one, where people who may not be so sound in mind listen to him. They believe him. And they believe him so much so that right now in this moment, you have 70% of Republicans that believe wrongly that he won this election. And their thought is that Joe Biden stole it. Joe Biden is doing things to take it. Why? Because he said so. And just because he said so is not right. To be president of the United States, you have to understand, you have to honor your words. You have to honor people. You have to understand that your words vibrate, your words mean something. And every time he took a knock at me and what he was saying, enemy of the press, I got death threats, bomb scares. I've had the bomb squad at my home. I've had the FBI at my home. I've had to move my home. But in the midst of it all, everything that I've said is panning out to be. And sometimes you have to know what you know and stand on it. I mean, it's tough. And I didn't sign up when I went to Morgan State University to do this, to run for my life, because I raised my hand and asked about, Mr. President, do you realize what taking the knee really means? Mr. President, are you going to apologize to the exonerated five, formerly the Central Park Five? I never thought that asking those questions would cause me to run with my children for my life. If I had a chance to do it again, I don't know. If I saw the movie play out before me, this thing is scary. But you know what? I thank God for giving me the strength to do it. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going anywhere. Because if I do, I thank God for Yamiche and for Abby and for all those other reporters. But before I started asking questions like that, and I've been at the White House, January will be 24 years. And before I started asking these questions, you really didn't hear about it that much. And Joy Reid, my friend Joy Reid, who's doing a wonderful job anchoring 7 p.m. on MSNBC, she said before April, there wasn't anyone. And now April's here. It's now vogue to ask questions on matters of race. It shouldn't be vogue. It should be every community, every issue should be asked no matter what. Everything comes to the White House, from War to Peace and everything in between. And that bothers me so much that people are afraid to ask questions. And it bothers me more so that people feel that I am out of order by asking it. There needs to be a civics lesson, a universal civics lesson of United States history and the interaction of government to government, the interaction of the press and the government, because people don't know. Because instead of saying, oh, okay, they want to fight you. They want to meet you after you leave work. They want to terrorize you and your kids. They want to send bomb. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's all from this president.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. And I think in a lot of ways, I also say, I thank you for the questions that you asked, because under the Obama administration, there was a sense of comfort, at least for myself, that I had, that I didn't really feel like I had to tune in and pay attention, because it was kind of like, I know we're going to be all right. But if it wasn't for reporters like you, under this administration, it made me wake up and pay attention and really start to engage and listen and learn what was happening in our country.
Lauren, you have to, because I don't know how old you are, but I'm loud and proud about it. I'm
25.
53 years old.
I'm 25.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you cute. Stay cute.
Thank you.
So 25.
Right?
Right? I remember when I was 25. Lord, I remember. But let me tell you, a few strands ago, let me say this. I want you to look up Bull Connor. I want you to look up the name George Wallace. I want you to look up the Edmund Pettus Bridge. That was back in the 50s and 60s. If you close your eyes, turn your head, and open your eyes real fast and close them again, you think you were back there with this moment in time, with the sepia tone picture. We can't go backwards. And what I've found is that each generation has to be a steward, maintain what's happening. Because we can't just rely on the fact, oh, the Civil Rights Act was passed.
Yep.
That was back in 60 something, early 60s, early mid 60s. And then, oh, the Voting Rights Act was passed, 1965, mid 60s. Voting Rights Act, we're voting without the full enforcement of the Voting Rights Act now because they stripped it in 2013 in the Supreme Court with Shelby versus Holder. It took out pre-clearance. If you don't know, I don't want to go through a lot with this with pre-clearance, but look up what pre-clearance means. But the synopsis of a synopsis with pre-clearance is that certain southern states were mandated, anytime they changed the rules for their voting procedures, they had to get approval from the Justice Department. Yep. In 2013, they gutted that. That's what happened back in 1965. So we in 2020, we're voting. They're stealing our votes. They are hijacking the mailboxes, breaking up the sorting machines. They have put out fake ballot boxes. You know,
I'm getting them back.
So every generation has to maintain something. Yeah. And the Civil Rights Act, if we had the Civil Rights Act, why are we being pushed away from certain places now? It's like, this is crazy.
Miss April, I'm on payback because guess what I'm doing? They're cheating, so I cheated too. I voted in my man name and in my woman name and got a whole busload of bitches that look like me. We all did the same.
Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. Say that. Don't tell me that. Because you know Donald Trump is watching right now. He's like, say that.
Donald Trump, if you're watching, you've been looking for a woman with balls to stand up to you for years. I am a woman with balls, for real. Understand?
I know. I would love. Look, that's one briefing I would love to watch.
Miss April, let me ask you a question. How excited were you when Biden and Harris got the ticket? When I saw Biden run to the podium, I got recharged. I was like, "Come on, old Joe." They keep calling Joe. Oh, I say Joe and Jill went up the hill and they wasn't looking for no water. Jill gave Joe a blue pill. Jill gave Joe that blue pill, and they still getting it in. Boo! I was like, "Come on, Joe." I was so excited for him, and I was overwhelmed with Kamala Harris, sister who graduated from HBCU, who climbed all the way up to the ladder, because we all expected it to be a Michelle Obama to be the very first woman in a position like that, or somebody.
Michelle Obama does not want politics.
I'm sure she does. She's Southside Chicago. I'm from Chicago. All you.
So you get it. So you get.
I totally get it.
Because you cross either one of you. It's like no.
That's why you should have hired me to be your bodyguard, because when they would have got out of line, I would have looked like your girlfriend. I would have dropped them. I would have dropped them where they stood, April. Boom.
Y'all get out of line, meet Flame.
And I know you were Biden, and I was so excited. I want to know how you feel about Biden getting this ticket.
So as a journalist, as a trained journalist, I'm unbiased. But for this moment, for the looking over everything and what the nation is dealing with, anybody but Trump. That's what I felt. Because I've had to take myself out of the journalistic role for a minute, because the last few months have been so deadly. You got over 250 some thousand people who are dead. You've got a race war that he perpetuates. There should not have been a million mega march in the streets of Washington, D.C. in the midst of a COVID pandemic. And then it should, in this country, there never should have been a mega million march. Number one, that's nothing but white supremacy.
Well, that was only about 600 people. Let me tell you.
Right.
It was kind of like his inauguration.
Well, how many ever? It should have never been.
Right. I know what you're saying.
It should have never been. And as someone that has had to deal with his terrorism, who's been traumatized by him, anybody but him. Now, I do know Joe Biden very well. I do know Senator Kamala Harris. For race, she is a woman of color, but she identifies Black, and she's at an HBCU just like I attended an HBCU. Matter of fact, Howard and Morgan have a rivalry, but bears eat bison. But anyway, moving on.
I hear a challenge. Ski-wee. That's for all the AKAs. Ski-wee. Because you are honorary Delta, right?
Yes, I am a Delta, and all of my sorors out there, hello. Ooh. But it's so beautiful. That acceptance night, when they came out and accepted it, you saw Deltas, you saw AKAs, you saw Black women out there. We are seen.
Yeah.
We are finally seen. We have been the backbone of so much in this nation.
Yes,
We
God.
saved this democracy.
Yes, God.
And we are finally seen. And I'm going to say this. I never thought, after the Clinton years, I know that was Clinton was your guy. After Clinton years, I said, it'll never be as newsy as Clinton. Here comes George W. Bush. I said, it'll never be as newsy after George W. Bush. And here comes this Black man with big ears who bopped and played basketball. It'll never be as newsy after Barack Obama. And here comes the orange infestation.
So
Lord,
I have
it will
to
never be.
You got to stop saying that, Miss April. You got to stop because you invited this foolishness in here now. Because you keep saying it'll never be. So now I get where it came from because you kept saying. So I need you to stop saying that right now.
But I never thought. But I'm going to say this. But I never thought I would see the history of the first Black president. I was there at the White House when he was elected and George Bush was upstairs. I didn't cry. I saw the spontaneous crowd coming to Lafayette Park and in front of the White House going, na, 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 hey, Bush, goodbye. I didn't cry. Other people did. But I cried when he left because I saw history. I didn't cry with Kamala, but you know what? It brings chills to me I raised my hand for the first Black president and to raise my hand saying, Madam Vice President.
Madam Vice President.
Yeah.
They claim they can't get her name right, but you can get that right. Madam Vice President.
Madam.
And
if you don't know her name, you call her Madam.
You damn straight. And I was not Team Kamala for president. I was Yang. But as soon as Kamala got the nomination, I started wearing my blue glasses because I was Team Biden and Harris all the way. But on
John Yang is cool. John Yang gave a lot. Each one, all of those 25,000 candidates that were on the stage it was a lot of them. And I was like, it was the weeding down started, but they all brought something and they brought something to the table to make the party think because the party needs to have a renaissance. Actually, the Democrats and the Republicans need to rethink who they are because are you a Trumplican or are you the old guard, the vanguard of the Republican Party? Are you conservative? Are you a Trumplican? What are you? For the Democrats, are you centrist? Are you far left? Are you progressive? What are you? There needs to be a coming together. And each party is not a monolith, but they have to make sure that everyone is under when I say everyone is under the umbrella. And that's some of the reason that Donald Trump rose, because you found a lot of people who not just feeling in the Obama years, but for many decades that they weren't touched by government. So everyone has to feel like they matter. Yeah. Everyone.
You just made a statement about women coming so far and Black women, and I appreciate that. I'm excited to know what you think that this new administration is going to look like. How colorful it's going to look like. 31 flavors at Baskin Robbins. We got indigenous, we got Iranian, we got a trans woman, Miss.
How about that?
She's cute. And she's cute. Because, a lot of times they be looking like James Brown with a wig on. But she's actually cute. I can say it because I'm part of the trans community. So I can say it. You can't say it, but I can say it. So, and here's the hypocrisy that I stated earlier, because they say statistically trans women don't vote. So, and we love to, as a trans person.
I can imagine. You know what? You know why? Because they probably felt like they weren't included. Do you know it's taken, remember Biden was the one who made the mistake talking about same-sex marriage. He's the one who pushed the envelope. And that was a mistake. He wasn't supposed to say it so early. So, and then that brought a lot of people like, wow, we're included. It is unfathomable that there is any group of people who feel like the United States government is not covering them. I don't understand. And everyone, I don't care race, gender, sexual orientation, you pay your taxes, right?
Yeah, and more than $750. Let me say that.
How about that?
Oh.
And he's alive on that. He's alive on that $750, and we paid $250,000 just for the drugs to save him.
Until January the 20th at noon. Letitia, that prosecutor in New York, you hear me, girl? Get him. You remember the movie, what's the movie, Night of the Living Dead, when the lady was in the cemetery and he kept saying, Barbara, they're coming to get you, Barbara. Donald, they're coming to get you, Donald. Get his ass. I'm gonna send him those emails that he was so hell-bent about from Hillary. I'm going to send those emails while you're locked up. People don't know what those emails were. You know what those emails was, Miss April? All those emails, because, see, Bill had cheated on Hillary publicly. So Hillary had a boyfriend on the low-low. Those were actually nudies, and she didn't want nobody to see him. That's just my take on it. I love Hillary Clinton. I don't care who don't like it. I love Hillary. Baby, that was a joke of mine. Before y'all start, oh my gosh, she said, I said what the hell I said. It's my page. Thank you for joining me at Laugh and Learn. Don't come with it, though. Because you come at me sideways, I'm going to straighten you up. I promise. I'm with Miss April Ryan, baby, White House Correspondent. Miss April, you know what I want to know also? Since you've been in government, because you've been in government working in the White House since 97?
Yes, I've been working with them. I'm not in government, but I've been working with them.
How has the political satire changed from your perspective? Because you're on the other side. We're not on that side. We're on the outside looking in, but you're actually on the inside. How has the other Republican senators and Democratic senators and everybody in that pool treated you? Because, you know, I'm a huge Nancy Pelosi fan. Nancy, if you're watching, girl, I would take my wig off for you. I get my breast cut out for you. I'm in love with Nancy Pelosi. Let me just say
You know, Nancy's from Baltimore. You know, her brother and her father were mayors in Baltimore. She's from Little Italy in Baltimore. There's a special sauce. There's a special sauce in Baltimore. And also Elijah Cummings was from Baltimore.
Oh, a lot of y'all gangster from Baltimore. Y'all got Monique from Baltimore. You got Just Hilarious is from Baltimore. It's so many wonderful, powerful people from Baltimore. And y'all
Jada
fight.
Pinkett, we fight.
And
Jada
y'all fight.
Pinkett is from Baltimore.
I love you, Jada, but you got to cut your hair and go back to looking like you did at the end of Set It Off. I was in love with Jada at the end with the white beater and the bald head. Oh, my God. I tried to knock that TV over. Jesus, thank you. Please take the wheel.
That was the movie, wasn't it?
That was the movie. So how have they been treating you? Because I know that, you know, a lot of stuff comes from the top. So we've seen his blatant disrespect of you publicly. How has people in his camp been towards you?
Well, okay, I'm gonna call names. Lynn Patton, remember her at the very beginning? She called me Miss Piggy. Let me tell you something. They called me Miss Piggy in college, and Miss Piggy was fabulous.
Yes,
So
she was,
She
baby.
was.
Miss Piggy was an over-the-top
she
tranny.
was.
I'm like, you know, and I said, you know, you gotta be careful calling people names because, you know, I'm like, it doesn't work so well for people. But they don't like me. But the Republicans that I know, that I've known for years, who've been my sources, they've been kind. But you have to be very strategic in how you communicate. I cannot say who gives me information because people try to find out where I got things from. I mean, you'd be surprised with who I know and who I have their phone number and I text with, who's in the ear of the president. So any good reporter worth their salt has a Rolodex that is worth gold, titanium, platinum, whatever. I have people who are in his ear, people who he interviews with. I have people who are in the Senate, in the House that he talks with, or people who are very close to the situation. They're in the room when it happens or where it happens. So I get information still. It's harder, but you know, I still get it and it's on the money. People are very easy. They're very good in giving me information, but they don't want their fingerprints on it.
Well, you tell that lady, whatever her name was, that I said you're a beautiful black woman. And black women have taken it. Let me tell you something. That damn Stacey Abrams have came through like a battle axe, baby, and not playing with it. And this is the strength of the black man and the black woman. I'm saying this publicly because I know I'm about to ruffle some feathers, but y'all do know that I do not give a damn, okay? Black women, black men, same scenario, two different scenes that could have played out very differently. Stacey Abrams was cheated out the governorship, and I said it, in Georgia, and instead of her going into a hole and getting depressed, she got on the battlefield as a soldier and garnered all these votes so that Georgia turned blue, something that has not happened in many, many years. Andrew Gillum, same scenario, was cheated out the governorship in Florida, but instead of him taking the high road, this nigga went to the hotel with the boyfriend. I'm just saying, sometimes you have to make a different choice and go a different route. Strong black woman went one way.
Abrams, but let me say, but you talk about Stacey was cheated. Let's talk about the seriousness of how she was cheated out of it. The man that she was going against
counted the votes.
Now you talking about cheating, and you see how they're recounting and everything now. Donald Trump is trying to put something in people's minds that's not true or making them sway. This man, we can't ever say yay or nay, but how you want to be in a contest and you the one counting the votes?
There you go.
How fair is that?
Well,
that's
this America right now. Because hear me when I tell you, Miss April, I think that somebody, and I'm, you know who I'm going to fault? I don't like all these fence riders. I don't like the fence riders. I fault people who were standing there in it, who should have cared more about the American people than their own personal gain, because they threw us under the bus as collateral damage because they wanted to keep their purse strings going, or they wanted to keep their relationship with this current administration, starting with Fauci. Because when Fauci was standing behind this fool, when he was talking about this, and Fauci is supposed to be a scientist, which I ain't never trusted him since the Reagan years with the AIDS pandemic. Y'all don't want to get me started on that, because he said AZT will kill AIDS. It did kill AIDS, but in the midst of killing the AIDS, it killed your pancreas, your liver, your gallbladder, and everything, and then it killed you. So the AIDS died with you. So I ain't trusted him since then. I said what I said. Send him to my house. He's shorter than me. I would drop that little. Anywho. I never trusted him since, but when they had that opportunity, when you were standing behind him, and one time Trump was saying something outlandish. I don't know what day, every day he said something outlandish, but Fauci put his hand down and put his head down and started laughing as if he's lying to y'all, and I'm seeing him lying, and I can't even take this lie. You should have spoken then, because the American people would have heard you. We would have had something to believe. The unsurety of this pandemic and what was coming from the top has scared the hell out of all of us. It scared the hell out of all of us.
I'm with you. I am so with you. I mean, I've had friends who died early on, from AIDS. I've had, and the drugs, you're right. The drugs will kill. Early on, the drugs would kill you.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. And I remember how, those drugs, if you're on this drug, you can't eat this kind of food. You can't do that. It was crazy. And now the drugs they've come a long way. But my question is, I'm looking at the science. I'm reporting. I'm watching the 3 companies now that have something very close. But the question is, will there be trust because of what happened with AIDS? Will there be trust because of Tuskegee as well, the broader community?
I'm glad you brought that up, because there are 2 we know of, HBCUs that are giving these students $1,700 to be lab rats, guinea pigs. 2 of which are in Louisiana. What are they? Xavier and Dillard. And Dillard. I know people are tight for money. I know this is a rough time, but I need somebody to get in these young kids' heads, because when you're young, you think you're invincible. You're in college. You can conquer the world, but you're still a human, and your body is still flesh and bone. You take this, you get to $1,700. You'll never be allowed to live it. You're gonna turn into a damn zombie. And personally, I'm terrified of zombies.
I hope they have to ask their parents' permission. But just to let you know, the president of Dillard is also in the trial as well.
He's taking it too.
He's in the trial. The president of Dillard. The president of Dillard University is in the trial.
He would have to give me the dose out the same needle that he's taking, because I'm not trusting nobody. Let me tell you something, Miss April, girl. I'm already they say, Flame, you have to be politically correct. I say, I got a breast and a penis. I'm not even anatomically correct. Please don't tell me what to say or what to do. There's a whole lot of moving parts over here. I'm scared if I take the vaccine, something else gonna grow.
But you know what? But you're a human being. There's humanity.
I'm a beautiful human being.
And gorgeous.
I love you, girl.
I'm serious. I mean, you are. I mean, look, I'm sitting here looking at the pictures, you there, and all the pictures on IG. I'm like, I need to come for some tips. But I'm like, okay, anyway. But what I'm saying is, we all are human beings. We all are human beings. And I say this, and it's almost with tears in my eyes. Politics is not about party, it's about people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about humanity. And what we are watching right now, it is wearing a mask, to wear a mask or not to wear a mask, it's political. Mm-hmm. It's about your life. My uncle, my late mother's brother, who I just talked to on the phone, he's in Philadelphia right now. He had bladder surgery, and then he went for a transfusion. Been in the hospital for about a month. Thursday, they said he had COVID. 92 years old. And listening to him on the phone, breathy, I just wanted to cry. I didn't say anything to him. I said, Uncle Paul, you're going to be all right. He said, it's in God's hands. I'm like, And I'm like, this didn't have to be. And it's sad. I mean, I've lost other people, but it just hurts my heart. He's going to be 93 years old, if God allows it, on January 19th, the day before the inauguration. 93 years old, and he's laying up in the hospital with COVID. Why? Because this president called it a hoax. He didn't want to wear a mask. All this foolishness. But he only paid $750 for taxes, and our tax dollars saved his life when everybody else is dying. But you ain't hear that from me.
Miss April, let me ask you a question, because you were there with her, and I know you met Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the late, great Miss Ruth Bader Ginsburg. How was she? You know, because when she died, we were like, oh my God, we're lost. And so I went back to a teaching that my grandmother taught me when I was a kid, and she said that we're all here only on loan. I felt like Ruth had struggled so long with cancer, so many different versions of cancer, losing a mother, her husband, so many people, that she was like, I can't do no help here. So she left 10, 11 days before the election to go personally talk to God in his ear to say, look, my people need help. Do this up there, because she had a lot more impact up there with him than down here with us. This is how I've seen her, because people are like, oh my God, I was like, no, she knew. She was a strong fighting monster. And when I say monster with love and affection, y'all. Don't get it twisted, y'all. Oh, flame count. No, I'm saying it that as a beastly, that she saw what she wanted. She pushed through for women's rights. And so when she died, we did feel like, damn it, she should have held on for 11 more days. But I felt like when my grandmother told me that before, that we only here on loan, that she went to do more help for us. Was she a sweet woman to you?
She was. Her body was tired. When you see someone like that, it's like, I still get awestruck. You know, it's like when I met Mandela, it was like, I couldn't believe it. Someone could be that convicted in their spirit to put their life on the line, literally, for others. She worked for equality. She worked on women's issues, and she defied the odds and prayed to the gods to last just a little while longer. She didn't give up her seat on the Supreme Court because she knew what Donald Trump was going to do. She's hung around as long as she could, and her body gave out. She could have easily, every time something happened, every time she had pneumonia or some kind of issue, pancreatic cancer or whatever that came up, she could have easily walked away. Mm-hmm. She didn't. And that kind of strength, that is something supernatural. That is a strength that you don't get every day. That's the strength that Nelson Mandela did. He forgave those who persecuted him. Mm-hmm. Nelson Mandela, a lot of people don't know this, but we couldn't take pictures with flash with Nelson Mandela because when he was working in the quarry, some of the limestone got in the back of his eyes. And if the light, it would have refracted and caused a lot of problems with his sight. He went through so much for Africans in South Africa to have first-class citizenship.
Because how long was he in prison, Ms. April? 27 years, something like that?
He was in prison for a while. He was in prison for several decades, yes.
Yeah. See, that couldn't have been me. First day, baby, I'm telling on everybody. See, like, that's a determination like Harriet Tubman had. Because if I would have got away, I wasn't coming back. Y'all on your own.
And see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. See, we get up on Instagram, we got to pose and all that to try to show, yeah, I'm this, I'm that. But look get the sub story, get the back story. That's the story I want. I don't care about all that posing. You might see me pose, but get the back story.
Oh, speaking of posing, that picture with the microphone. Oh, April, I love that picture of you. That picture is boss. Let me say, that picture is so boss. With the microphone like that, I'm like, oh, she look gangster. I bet you's the danger. Oh, you from Baltimore. You ain't got to say nothing else. I know how y'all do. Baby, I know how y'all do. Miss April, let me ask you another question before we get off of here. I want to know, how was Mr. John Lewis personally? Because we know his history. We know so many stories of how he just took on the Bettis Bridge, how they beat him across the head, and he's been in the civil rights. He stood with Martin Luther King. He stood with B.R. Rustin. A lot of y'all don't know who B.R. Rustin is. B.R. Rustin.
Look it up. Make them look it up.
Please look him up because he was.
Google him.
Mind you, that the LGBT community has been involved in politics long before we was popular to be involved in politics.
Civil rights. And this is what I'm saying. first class citizenship for everyone, regardless of where you come from, what any orientation, gender, race, what have you, sexual orientation, been around a long time.
Bear Rustin was a monster. He was a monster.
So I want everybody, don't tell them yet. Make them have that quiz for the next time you come on, so they can tell you on the IG Live.
Oh, wonderful!
Let them
Thank
do that.
you.
Have class. Teach them.
Yes, teach me some class, Miss April. You know I'm a throwback, Miss April. So how was John Lewis? Was he a friendly man?
So John Lewis was the most wonderful man I'd ever met, and he was short in stature but large in love. I would see him and he would always make it a point to come, no matter, he'd see me across the room and he'd start moving towards me, and people would stop him and shake his hand and everything, but he kept coming, and I just stood there and waited. And it may have taken him a half an hour, but he'd come to me. How you doing? I'm good. I love you. I said, I love you too. And he would want to always see how I was, because he knew that I was going through some stuff. He also knew that I was one of the few people asking questions about us at the time. And game peeps game, and he had a heart for people, but he also had a heart for peace. I remember one time being angry about something. I was at Roland Martin's show.
Oh, I love Roland.
Yeah, years ago, and the congressman was coming in, and I said something to the effect of, I'm so angry. He said, I'm with you no matter what you do, but you've got to do it peacefully. I said, okay. And we just started laughing. He broke the tension. But he believed in peace work. He believed in, no matter what you had to say, do it peacefully, because you get farther with peace than you would violently. Non-violence was his being, was his essence. And I miss him.
The day Biden was elected officially, which was that Saturday after that Tuesday, and we finally I put right on my Instagram page, please now bring April Ryan back to the White House Correspondent, because I miss you. I put that on my page.
That was publicly. You. Okay,
that was me.
You,
I started a campaign to bring you. I wanted you back. See, and I didn't know that you left for COVID.
I'll be back in. I'm going to be back in. We're going to be doing some. I'm making some. I believe that this moment is a moment of creativity. Even in the midst of all of this pain, I said I'm either going to go low and get depressed, which I can do, or I'm going to find out other ways to put the message out. And just stay tuned. There's more coming. Oh, and I will be back. I'm back in.
No, Monday is coming.
Monday is Promised Land with President Barack Obama. Stay tuned for the time. Yes.
Girl, tell Mr. President Obama that me and my children, I have a huge book and a huge picture of him in my home, because when I tell you, he gave me such hope, such joy, and such belief when I saw him, because I'm from Chicago. So when him and Michelle came out, when he actually got the nomination, I was not in Chicago. I was in Houston, Texas. And when I saw him get that, and people were just overwhelmed and it gave me such hope, as not only as a black man or a trans woman, it gave me hope as an American that I can be and do anything I want to be, because this brother then pulled it off. And then Michelle came out in her red and black Target dress. I said, girl, I got that dress.
That wasn't a Target dress.
That was Target, or J. Crew. It was J. Crew. I think I got the knockoff from Target, though.
You are so bad.
And Michelle is so bomb. Michelle is Chicago South Side. First of all, a shout out to Chicago, my hometown. I love my city. But Michelle is baby. Let me tell you something. You don't want to walk up on Michelle. I know all that first lady. I'm telling y'all now, you don't want to walk up on Michelle. I'm telling you. It's Oprah too. See, Oprah ain't from Chicago, but she stayed in Chicago long enough. Y'all think Oprah nice? Oprah got a bodyguard named Gail. That's what y'all know. Gail ain't just her best friend. Baby, Miss Gail would drop you, baby. Miss Gail, did you see how she cornered Robert R. Kelly? Like, Robert? I'm like, okay, if Gail get up, she gonna floor you.
Why are you laughing? Why? Y'all are so bad. This has been the best time.
And you know what, Miss Ryan? You have just gave me the greatest compliment I wanted. That's what I wanted you to leave this show with. I wanted you to be able to say that you had a great time. Thank you for that.
I did. I enjoy you. I think you're amazing.
Oh, thank you, Miss Ryan. I appreciate you. You are the best. I'm ready for you to get back in there. And let me tell you something. I know that Joe Biden not going to push the envelope with you. But if you ever need a bodyguard that they won't know that's your bodyguard, call me. You got my number. Call me.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. The White House is going to be open. And they are saying it's going to reflect America. I want you to hold them to that.
Thank you for that, Miss April. But I'm telling you, we got some soldiers on the back. I wouldn't be a good spokesperson for our community because I say things sometimes that ruffle people's feathers. But I want to speak about these soldiers that we have that go unmentioned. Saria Sinclair out of Louisiana, Tatiana Moden of Chicago, Valerie Spencer here in Los Angeles. These girls are trans women who have been on the battlefield fighting for trans rights and equality and visibility for such a long time. And now we got a trans woman on the Senate. Baby, let me tell you something. We like Virginia Slims. We've come a long way, baby. Woo! And black women, the same. Black women taking over. I'm telling you, my mama's a black woman. That's why I emulate a black woman, because I know black women are beastly. I wanted to be a beast, honey. April Ryan, White House Correspondent, fantastic mother, author, correspondent, journalist. The next time you on CNN, you tell Anderson Cooper that I love him, and you tell that damn what's the big Italian name? Good, the fine one.
Chris Cuomo.
You tell Chris Cuomo that I would.
You got a crush on Chris Cuomo.
I would crush bricks for Chris Cuomo. That Chris Cuomo is a monster, baby, in a wonderful way.
I got a crush on Chris Cuomo too.
Everybody has a crush on Chris Cuomo.
Yeah.
I know his
and his
wife.
brother.
Who, the brother? Andrew
And
Cuomo?
Andrew Cuomo, yeah.
I ain't gonna be able to pull Andrew a little out of my league. He just a little, I got a type. He don't cut the age requirement. But that Chris Cuomo, good God. I know his wife is a happy woman. Every time she think about him taking his clothes off, she just start doing jumping jacks.
Anytime Chris is working out, and yeah, I'll be like, but no, he's a nice guy, and Anderson is wonderful. I love me some Anderson, and I love me some Chris. I'm a blessed woman to be able to hang around with those people, those professionals.
What you are is an amazing role model. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I heard me and Nick Smith laugh and learn. Miss April Ryan, ladies and gentlemen, White House Correspondent.
Thank you so
Bye,
much. It was a
Lauren.
pleasure to meet you.
Baltimore,
pleasure. Bye,
Baltimore's finest, baby. I want to talk with Lauren Hogan about HF.
AIDS Healthcare Foundation, we are the largest global nonprofit servicing HIV and AIDS in the world. We are in 16 states domestically, including Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C., and 45 countries globally. World AIDS Day is coming up, which is on December 1st, which is this Tuesday. So, you guys kind of touched on it with Miss April when we were discussing it, but there are some similarities, between AIDS and coronavirus. We're seeing some similarities there. So with that, we decided to have a theme this year of AIDS, the other pandemic, just so people can understand, that AIDS is still very much an issue. People think now because everybody may not, it's not a death sentence anymore. It's not as serious as it is, but there's still, 16 million people globally who are infected with HIV and don't know their status.
I saw a statistic report that said that people who take the AIDS medication, is supposed to be a blocker for coronavirus. Is that any foundation to that?
Not that I know of. That's
I saw that
interesting.
twice, actually.
That's interesting.
They said that the antiretroviral medicine is supposed to be really good to fight coronavirus.
Interesting.
I'm going to tell you what else works. Lysol, spray a bitch.
Or a condom, either or.
Oh, well, with So HF has rehired me, ladies and gentlemen, to do the HF Burlesque campaign. So
yes.
Thank you very much for HF.
Of
I ain't got my
course, we
check
love
yet, but I
you.
love you, Michael. Michael Weinstein is the CEO, and
Yes.
I met him last year when I was doing it just on a whim. He was in the audience, and I could
Yes.
smell the money, and I went right to him because that's who I am. I smell money. But we thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, my special, wonderful woman, Lauren Hogan. That's Lauren the Diva
Anytime.
to y'all. Lauren the Diva.
Anytime.
And if you want to book me for something outside of this, you have to
Gotta go through me.
Lauren, which is bookings at
Yes.
gmail.com. I also want to push my friend's coffee, Up and Adam. This is Up and Adam. He has his coffee, so y'all order www.getupandadam. I thank you guys for joining me here. We will be back next week. This Friday, my interview with the Breakfast Club will be up, so you guys watch that and share. I'm Flame_Monroe on Twitter. I'm Monroe Flame on Instagram, and I'm Marcus Flame Monroe Parker on Facebook. Yes, the whole legal name. That's where the checks come in. So that's where the whole we fall into play. And we can follow Lauren on...
Oh, Instagram. I am Lauren Armani H on Instagram. And that's really my main platform, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do that.
But she works at AHF, so you have any questions. And what I wanted her to come was I wanted her to be a face, not of representing AHF as a client, but as an employee, to let you guys know that.
Yeah.
Because so many people think that the myth is that AHF only caters to gay white men.
Yeah, and I mean, I appreciate you addressing that because I think that's a huge misconception. One key thing about AHF is we have affinity affinity groups, and it's really geared toward targeted outreach. So we have specific groups for, the Black community, the Latino community, for gay men in general, regardless of, your racial background. And also, for the Latino community and for women specifically, we have a group called Spark. So, we really want to make sure that we're getting into specific communities so we can do the work. That's a huge misconception. It's not accurate. And we're all about diversity and inclusion. And every day we're taking strides to make sure that we follow suit. So
just in case you were wondering why she's the manager, now you know why.
Yeah.
I thank you guys so much. I will see you all next week. You all have been amazing. Thank you to our very special guest, White House Correspondent April Ryan. Y'all get her book, which is called Under Fire.
Yes.
And she will be with President Barack Obama on Monday on her IG Live. So let's watch, follow, share, and do all of that.